Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. I am your host, Bob Benham. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching, listening. I do appreciate it so very much. Um, so much going on in the world. The big story is the fact that the Israelis and the United States launched a massive attack on Iran uh, over the weekend. And yeah, I am not a big fan of regime change um, or sending our troops and warriors into harm's way. But in this case, uh, this is a war that was declared on the United States uh, back in 1979 by Iran. And they declared war on us when they our took 444 people from the United States and held them as hostage, or not 444 people, but they took United States citizens and held them for 444 days. Sorry, my mind was getting ahead of itself. Held them for 444 days as hostages. And our severely inept president at the time, Jimmy Carter, um, attempted a rescue and it failed miserably. We lost quite a few troops and a couple of helicopters because he did not have it planned properly. One thing that if you're a prior military and a veteran, um, the things you notice is uh, when there's a Democrat in office, you notice that the military's activities basically slow down to nothing. There's no training going on. There is just all activities come to a halt. Um, you never see the fighter jets flying overhead. You never see uh, you don't see anything going on. Nothing. It's just, I mean, things are dead. Um, but when a Republican president is in office, you'll see the fighter planes training. They're up flying. Um, you see military equipment being moved on trains and stuff like that on the highways um, because they're training. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Um, so the thing of what happened with the troops when they tried the rescue attempt is they weren't ready for it. They hadn't been training and they got sent in to do something that they weren't ready for. Um, so it failed. That's what happened, and so we got embarrassed horribly, and no other rescue attempt was done. Now, when President Reagan was sworn into office, all of a sudden the hostages were released that very day. because Iran knew that if they didn't release the hostages, bad things were going to happen. So they released them. However, they did not stop their war against the United States because all you heard from Iran was death to America and death to Israel. They continued their war against us. They killed Americans every chance they got, held Americans hostage, especially if a American traveled to Iran for some reason. They would hold them hostage, uh, or some crazy reason or whatever. Um, and just ridiculous stuff. And they would launch their missiles or whatever, or try to take over cargo ships, this, that, the other, or just try to make, something stupid. We saw it all the time for that during that 47 years. And I've always, and of course, they wanted to develop a nuclear weapon and long range ballistic missiles. Um, that was um, something that had to be taken care of. Um, and I mean, taken care of as in wiped out. Uh, the, the Iranians, we just could not let them have those things because they would use them, no doubt. Um, they would use them in a split second, as soon as they had them. You wouldn't have to even think twice. It was going to be used. So we had to eliminate that part of the threat. And we did it last summer. But as usual, the Iranians did not learn their lesson, um, and continued their evil ways. And that's just how it goes with them. Um, and like I said, this has been going on for 47 years against the United States, against Israel. And something had to be done. It we've had, gosh, how many presidents? Reagan, first Bush, Clinton, the second Bush, Obama, and Biden. That's 6 presidents that just let the Iranians do whatever they want to do. And 2 presidents actually gave Iran tons of cash, and that's Obama and Biden. They gave them cash on pallets flown in on helicopters in the middle of the night hoping that nobody would know and nobody would see it. Well, they forget that there's cameras everywhere and people are always trying to get the story. And so here we are with people videoing the fact that here's all these pallets of cash and it's being turned over to the Iranians. And then, you know, what do they do with that money? It's not going to the citizenry. No, it's not going to, because Iran, they call it a dictatorship, but that's not a proper term for Iran. The Muslims have their own type of hierarchy, and it's not really a dictatorship. I'm struggling trying to really find a way to describe it, but it's with the Ayatollah and stuff. It's a whole different brand of hierarchy because they mix their religion with politics, and it's a strange thing. But anyway, um, of course, Obama's paying them off, supposedly to stop their nuclear program and supposedly stop this and all that crap. Well, they just take the money and they just continue to build it, and it actually makes it go faster. And we know that. He knows that. He's not that stupid. But it's one of those things that, the old the old adage of we don't negotiate with terrorists. Well, he did with this garbage uh, deal he had with Iran with the accords with Iran for not build a bomb and all that BS. And they then he kind of and then he goes and pays them all this money. I mean, I think the total was like $17 billion, if I remember correctly. That's a lot of cash. And what do? They turn around and buy weapons, build the nuclear weapons, and do their enrichment of uranium for the nuclear weapons and all that stuff. And they're doing all that crap underground to prevent being destroyed. I mean, please. Um, it's just you just I'm just it's like what happened to the old saying you don't negotiate with terrorists. That was you can't negotiate with terrorists because whatever you say, whatever you do, um, it doesn't matter with them because they're going to continue to do what they do. They're going to continue with the attacks. They're going to continue with the it doesn't matter to them. It does not matter. Um, and that's why that saying came into play. And especially with Islamists and Muslims and all that, they don't care. There was there's a quote from Osama bin Laden, and it rings so true. And I wish people had heard it. Osama bin Laden said, America loves life. We love death. That's the difference between us. And he's right. He was right. They don't care because they don't care if they die or not. So that, here we are. We're trying to save our lives and trying to, ne- negotiate with them to make peace and to make sure that we can live together. They don't want to live together. They want us gone. Their idea of peace is they have free reign, and it's just them. They don't care. I mean, they really don't care about us. We're infidels. It's either we convert, we become their slaves, or we're killed. That's it. Period. That is it. Three very simple terms. Now, I'm sorry, I'm a Christian, so I'm not going to convert. I am not going to become a slave to anybody. So I guess that means I'm going to die. Well, if I'm going to die, I'm going to take a whole bunch of you with me. And I can guarantee that one. That's just how it's going to be. Because I will not go down without a fight. That's been ingrained in me since day one. I'm sorry, but that, no way. It's not going to happen. I don't know. And then these people, the Democrats, they are just, they are just so, I they're mentally ill in every way. Because I mean, there's this. I have so much stuff on my computer that I've downloaded from Democracy Now and stuff, articles, opinion pieces, things like that, and it I I want to go through it line by line and just kind of just respond to it line by line to show how absolutely crazy and mentally ill um, they are. And it was proven during the State of the Union address last week. Um, the I mean, President Trump's speech. was very, very good. And I gotta hand it to him that he had the Democrats w walk right into his traps. The biggest one was where he asked Congress, um, "Is it the first duty of American the American Congress to put the American citizen first over illegal aliens?" And the entire Republican side stood up and clapped and cheered. And you looked over at the Democrat side, and not one of them stood up. Not a single one. And that was telling right then and there. They do not stand up for us. They are so far into the mentally ill side. They would rather stand up for the illegal aliens and all these dumb people that have crossed the border because those are votes for them. They know that those people will vote for them rather than the US citizens. And that is treason. They have by doing what they did, they violate their oath of office. They're violating it. They're committing a treasonous act. Every one of them, right then and there, should have been arrested and taken to jail and charges filed for treason. Every one of them. President Trump was right for calling them crazy because they are crazy. They are nuts. Why would they not stand on that? I just it's mind boggling. That's the first thing you do. You take care of American citizens first. America is first. Period. And they have the whole this whole uh, Trump derangement syndrome. To the point where they hate Trump so bad. They do not understand him in any shape or form. I mean, they don't it's crazy how they don't understand him. They think he is out for himself and not to help us. Well, I know my life's better with him in the Oval Office. It's way better. I know I'm able to afford more. I'm able to go out and do things. I know that when Obama and Biden were in office, whoo, I was pinching pennies and thinking, "Oh boy, I'm gonna have to file bankruptcy." And oh, I mean, it was damn ugly. I thought I was in, well, let's put it this way, I was in dire straits. I was penny pinching. I was looking every day. I was looking at, where am I? How do I make this work? Where do I put the money to make this work? Where do I shift? Okay, how do I make? Where do I put? How do I pay this bill and this month, and or to make this bill, or make be able to pay them every all the payments so that no payment is missed, so my credit doesn't get killed. It was hard. And somehow, some way, I made it. And now, at least I have a few dollars to be able to go out to dinner, take my wife out to dinner instead of sitting in the house all the time because I can't go out to dinner because I need the money to pay for whatever. Now I own a house and oh boy, expenses of owning a home. I forgot how expensive it was because myself and my late wife, we owned an RV and we lived in it for 15 years. Lot cheaper to live in that. That is for sure. Lot cheaper. But anyway, it just it kills me that how the Democrats, I mean, they just make shit up as they go. They literally make it up. Everything, there's nothing that comes out of their mouth that is a solution to anything. They have no solutions to anything. It's all, just bash Trump. Oh, he has no right to declare war on Iran. That's an act of Congress. Blah 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 blah. Well, I got news for you people. I never heard him say the words he was declaring war on Iran. Never heard those words come out of his mouth. So therefore, he did not declare war on Iran. So you morons don't have a leg to stand on in this, where you say, "Oh, he declared war on Iran." No, he didn't. He launched a military operation, and that is all. You idiots can't even get that right. I don't know where your heads are at. All you do is lie. Everything that comes out of your mouths is a lie. That it is just the more it's just insanity. I mean, all President Trump did in this case is he paired up with Israel and they went in and took out the Iranian leadership, just wiped them out. to free Iran from these terrorist leading idiots. President Trump ended a 47-year war against us, against the United States of America. Iran declared war on us by these death to America chants and blah, 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 and death to Israel. We never declared war against Iran. So, get off this horse thing where he declared war on Iran. It never happened. Nobody did. But he finished it. He finished their declaration of war against us. And he's a good man for doing it. And all we got to do now is finish off these little pockets of these morons and get them done. It's just, it's like I said, every other president, including Trump, has tried negotiating with them to get them to knock off all the crap that they were doing. Everyone. And it's just they would not stop. You'd get the Iranian nuclear deal. Oh, yeah, we won't make any nuclear weapons. We'll stop and blah, blah, blah. And what happens? They were still doing it. We kept hearing, "Oh yeah, they're stopped. They're still making them." Oh no, I thought this deal was supposed to stop that. You can't negotiate with terrorists. Rule number one. You can make any deal you want with them. Refer to rule number one. It's not going to be followed by them. I could have told you that going into it. And then they get upset. The Democrats are all mad because they weren't informed that this was all going to take place. Well, I'm pretty sure that they were. I'm almost sure they were. Maybe certain members weren't by a certain time or whatever. But you have to be careful about who you inform in Congress. Because sadly, we have members of Congress who hold dual citizenship. And where they hold dual citizenship are enemies of the United States. So if you tell them what you're planning on doing, you can count on them telling our enemy what the plans are. It's a given. So it's just, I mean, you don't tell them until it's underway and already started. Then you call them in and say, hey, this is what we're doing. That's just good policy. That way they can't come back and say, "Oh, no, don't, you can't do it," and then blah, blah, blah. It's already underway. It's already taking place. And that way they can't warn them of what's coming because it's already underway. Uh, it, it's just so sad that we have people that would tell our enemies what we're going to do. Unbelievable. And you want to talk about treason? That's treason also. Aiding and abetting an enemy of the United States. And nobody is ever held accountable anymore. And that makes me so mad. I love this country. I love this country. And it's just it's so hurtful that the powers that be do not hold people responsible for what they do. They just don't. And it makes me sick. So sick to my stomach. And the fake narrative that's being put out, especially by the media and the Democrats. Oh my God, they got the messaging down so well. But they've had practice. So they've been practicing this for now 50 plus years. Because I've been watching it, seeing it, reading it. Whatever the Democrats say, boom, it's all over the media. And then the lies that are told in the media that to expound on all the crap that the Democrats put out there. I mean, it's crazy what they say. I mean, to hear what how they put it in and stuff, and just oh, it's nuts. It's really nuts. And I just I mean, all you can do is shake your head. Heck, if you try to correct it, I mean, it's so funny. All these websites that there, like you got uh, all the news websites. Out of all of the news websites, the only ones that have, well, it's kind of changed back. I shouldn't really say this, but for a while there, I'll just put it this way. I remember, and it was during the Biden administration, during the Obama administration, um, there were periods where the left leaning media websites would not let you comment on stories that were posted. And the right leaning media websites, you could make a comment on any story they had on their site. And I was like, well, I wonder why you can't comment on the stories of the left leaning ones. And then I mean, it was obvious because when they did have the comment section open, and I remember doing this every so often. I'd look at the comment section, and of course, the conservatives were pointing out, no, that didn't happen. This was wrong. This is what really happened, and put the facts into the comment section. And then all of a sudden, here was the liberals going, "You're racist. You're Islamophobic. You're blah 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 blah. Get off the site. You're a troll." Blah 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 blah. They cannot handle facts. Can't handle them. And that is just, you know, there were some times I laughed over it, and I, you just had to laugh over it. You really had to laugh over it because it was funny. What they wrote, what they said, it was funny. Uh, but the thing of it is that it was also telling about how dumb they were because they don't know. They don't know their history. They don't know they they can't think past the end of their nose. They can't see the big picture. And everything's emotional to them, not logical. And so when unless you're speaking in emotional terms, they are lost. So and from time to time, I would post comments and stuff, and it would turn into a knockdown, drag out, and whatever. And the name calling would start, and I'd be like, okay, that's it, I'm done. Which didn't take too long. But I, I, I don't hardly ever read comments now because the dumbing down of people, and it's all due to, sadly, it's all due to what our education, or not lack of education system, has done. Because our teachers don't teach anymore. They don't teach. They indoctrinate. And then they just make sure that you can pass that test that they give at the end of the year. to make sure that you can go on to the next grade. That's all they do. And it is so incredibly sad that what they have placed in front of our educators. And when you make everything about an exam, you're not going to teach anything except what's on the exam so they can pass that test. And so there's no teaching going on. It's it's just not a good situation. Just not. Um, one other thing that I got that really bothered me was the Democrats, how they disrespected our men's hockey team from the Olympics after they won the gold medal. Those men played outstanding hockey. Uh, Connor Hellebuck played his position as goalie in a way I haven't seen in a long time. Um, he was making saves that were just astounding, and just mind-boggling. Um, he was fabulous, just absolutely fabulous, and in just incredible to watch. He literally put on a clinic as goalie. Um, if any kid's looking out there and wants to be a goalie, uh, you know, growing up, watch him and watch what he did in that gold medal game, and it just basically throughout the Olympics. Get the tape, get a tape of the Olympics and watch him. Unreal, unreal. Um, but what made me mad about the Democrats and how they responded to our men's Olympic gold medal winning hockey team. These guys were proud that they were from the United States. They were proud to wear that jersey. They were proud to win for our country. They were proud to be Americans, and they were showing it. They were expressing it. And the Democrats were bashing them for it. Why? Well, because our FBI director represented the United States and was there at the game, and then got invited into the locker room to celebrate winning the gold medal with the team. And then he got the idea to call the president of the United States and have the president have a talk and send a message to the team, congratulate the team. and that set them off. And I think that that was one of the most patriotic things that could have ever happened, to receive a call from the President of the United States just after you won the gold medal. That would have been the icing on the cake. That is something that's incredibly is something outstanding, to have the President of the United States on the phone congratulating you on your accomplishment. It doesn't get any better than that. And then you got the director of the FBI in the locker room with you, puts, drinking beers with you and dancing and all that and having fun, celebrating with you. The biggest accomplishment of your career and your life. I have zero problem with that. I thought that was cool and fun. I can tell you right now, if I was the FBI director and they said, I'd have been doing the same thing. I had no problem with that whatsoever. And for the Democrat, oh, that was diminishing his position as FBI director, and he shouldn't have been there. And blah 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 blah. The hell with that. With all the stupid crap you Democrats have done over all these years, that's hip. You guys are just a bunch of hypocrites. Oh, and then you're just mad, because you have no absolutely you just absolutely hate America. The president invites them to the White House. You're mad about that. Oh, that's political. No. Well, you made it about politics. There's nothing political about inviting the winning gold medal hockey team to for the country to the White House. Nothing political about that. It's a celebration. So bringing the country together to celebrate something that was a team representing our nation as one. They were representing all of us. And they went to meet the president to celebrate that win for all of us. And then with the president inviting them to the State of the Union for the same reason, to celebrate for all of us on national television for everybody to see. And you guys have a problem with that. You didn't even stand. Well, half of you didn't stand. You're disgusting. You Democrats are just 100% disgusting. I really have no use for any of you anymore. None. And I'm talking to even just the normal everyday person that's a Democrat. If you sit there and tell me you're Democrat, that means you believe in all this crap that's going on right now with that party. And you know what? That is terrible. That's absolutely terrible. You're anti American. You hate the Constitution. You hate the Bill of Rights. You hate America. And you cannot deny that. All you do, all you do is bitch about Trump. You bitch about conservatives. You offer no solutions to anything other than raising taxes, put more control on the citizenry, adding regulations, writing more laws, putting more restrictions on everybody, making sure that we can't go anywhere, do anything. Guess what? I'm not for any of that. I'm not for socialism, communism. I am a free man right now. Not as free as I want to be, but I am a free man. And I will remain a free man. I will fight to be a free man. And I will put a guarantee on that one. 100%. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it very much. I really do appreciate it. So much going on. Um, I have so much material. Oh my gosh. I just went through my computer yesterday and the day before. And because I've been trying to you kind of gather everything and trying to organize it a little bit. And when I did, I went, wow. Because I had file folders on my computer everywhere and I didn't have it organized whatsoever. And I just went, oh, I finally got it organized. And I went, I got way more than I thought. So I'm going to kind of try to sit down and play around with it and look at it. And I'm going to try to make some notes and kind of go through stuff and talk about it. Even though some of it's pretty old, uh, but it's still fresh. It's still pertinent to what's going on today. And so I would want to take a look at it and go over it and have some fun with it. Um, but anyway, Please take care of yourselves. Please, right now, especially with what happened with Iran. We know there are sleeper cells in the United States. There are terrorist sleeper cells. We know that. We just had a terror attack in Austin, Texas, just the other day. They are waiting to be activated and do their evil. Watch out. Stay vigilant. Watch what's going on around you. Look for things that look funny, weird, whatever. If something makes the hairs on your neck stand up, be extra careful. Watch for the weird stuff. If bags sitting unattended on the street, whatever, just be observant. Watch your surroundings. Keep your nose out of your phone, especially right now. Um, this is not a good time to be doing that. And watch out for one another. Help one another. If something bad happens, just help each other. Pray. Pray for the safety of the United States. We will get through this. I love this country, and I will be out there helping to defend her. And God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Please take care of yourselves. And until next time, bye bye.